There's been a big push here in the last several years here for people wanting products that are considered non-GMO products or genetically modified organisms. Um, just gonna kind of go over some of the things about what those are. GMOs are not necessarily unnatural. They're actually pretty natural. They've been going on for years. People have been crossbreeding and everything for years, trying to improve their livestock and improve their not only that but like their pets and stuff to for guard dogs, stuff like that. A lot of that there's been going on for years. Um, GMOs are they're a lot more cheap. GMOs are a lot cheaper to build. Than and there's really no nutritional difference to organic. In fact, a lot of times organic a lot of times doesn't have a lot of the nutrients that GMOs do, because a lot of times they're able to add things like the vitamins and minerals and stuff into those food products that you buy that are considered GMOs. Like I said, it's been happening for centuries. I mean, it's going way back to like the beginning of time when started domesticating animals. That's when this all started. Um, so and the other thing, big thing that's been going on is like the antibiotic free, antibiotic free animals and livestock, and um, that is absolutely floors me that people think that is a good thing. Antibiotics are used to treat animals if they're sick. That is so inhumane to not use antibiotics on animals. I mean, we use it on ourselves. We use antibiotics on ourselves all the time when we're sick. That's the same concept. It is beyond ridiculous, and it's got to be the absolute stupidest thing I've ever heard. I've heard, I think Tyson is one of the big companies that I've heard. Their commercials on TVs here. Talking about antibiotic-free chickens, and it's ridiculous. You use antibiotics to treat animals, to treat sick animals. It's ridiculous. Um, Besides that, there is withdrawal periods for medicine and stuff. So, but what that means, you can't slaughter or sell without you can't even sell without disclosing if you're within that withdrawal period for any medicine that you give or antibiotics that you give that animal. You have to disclose that by law. And if they slaughter an animal and they find those traces of that, antibiotics in there, then you can be, they'll trace it back to whoever, who owned it, and you can be fined pretty heavily for it. So it's illegal to do, without the withdrawal period. So that means that, the withdrawal period just means that all that medicine, anything that could be in there, in that system, is has enough time to work through, get through whatever's trying to, fix, and be out of the system, be out of the system of the animal, so that it's safe to consume. Um, the other thing, a lot of people, talking about, going back to the organic farming and the chemicals and whether it's like herbicides or pesticides or um, fertilizer, even chemical fertilizer. Um, that stuff allows more food to be grown on less land. So, and with the rising population, we need more food, and we're getting less land because people need places to live. So you're going to have naturally less land. You have to be able to grow more food on less land. The only way to do that is with these fertilizers doing this. Organic is not a plausible situation right now. 100 years ago, yeah, it might have been, because but basically, I mean, more or less was. We had a lot less technology, so we didn't have all this stuff. 100 years ago, but there was a lot less people 100 years ago as well. We didn't need as much, and we had more land. Right now, we've got less land. We're trying to raise, and the American farmers, especially American farmers, all farmers actually, are raising more food on less land than ever before, and it's because of these these practices that they're able to do that. I don't see why people can't figure that. We got to have more food. We got to find ways to improve our you know our food and our you know, that we're producing. Besides that, it absolutely floors me. Yeah, isn't it a little counterproductive for farmers to be poisoning their consumers like they're trying to claim? I mean, seriously, how stupid is that? That has got to be the stupidest argument. Yeah, so it is. That's how they make. I mean, that's how they're going to make a living. That's how they're going to make their money. You have to have customers, which means you're not going to poison them. That's the stupidest argument ever. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. It just floors me some of the stupidity that comes out of some people's mouths about stuff like this. They have no idea what they're actually talking about and just think that organic sounds great, when in reality it's really not definitely not any better. A lot of times it's not as good as what we're doing right now with the practices we're using right now. Probably 95% of the time it's not as good, and the other 5% it's not better. The other's not better, it's the same on these products. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So, there you go. GMOs really aren't that bad. They're not bad at all. They're actually been going on for years. You've been eating that for years. And even a lot of times when they say, non-GMO or, organic, it's not organic a lot of times. I mean, they may say it is, but it's ridiculous. Just eat whatever you can afford. It's, on top of that, organic is this really expensive alternative that's really not as good. There's a lot of people that can't afford stuff like that. Can't afford the organic. They have to eat that other, and it's better food for them anyway. So it makes a lot more sense to grow more food, so we can, make it more affordable, especially right now with Ukraine being invaded. Ukraine is a very large exporter of grains. So they're talking potentially a very, major food shortage because of that. This is when we really need to be pushing more and more of these, practices to increase our food production, because we're going to need it. We're definitely going to need it over the next 100 years. They're saying by the year 2100, they're expecting the population worldwide to grow by somewhere a little over 3 billion more people in another 80 years. So we're definitely going to need the food. The only way to do it's with these practices that we're using right, like this. And we'll keep improving these practices and keep getting them better. But going organic is counterproductive to the whole, to everything. As far as, producing the food that we need, because we got to have food. You got to have healthy food. GMOs are healthy food. It is. It's not unhealthy. It's a good thing. So go buy, the stuff that people are, we're using. If you want to buy organic, you can, but I'm just saying it's really not helping anybody out, not even yourself.